Hey Bricks, it's Brickley here, and welcome to another episode of Improving Helm's Deep in LEGO. And today we're actually going to work on improving this entire section of Helm's Deep, the deeping wall with, of course, the tower. Now, obviously, the deeping wall which LEGO made was quite good. I loved how they created everything and designed the entire tower, but I do think there are a couple of flaws which I had to repair back in the day when I was a kid, and naturally, I want to go and give you a tutorial on that. So in this video, I'm going to go and show you how to upgrade this section of Helm's Deep, along with a couple of examples to compare, of course, from the instructions. And let's go and dive right into this video. But before we do, of course, if you want to see episode 1 of this series, in which I upgraded the Hornburg of Helm's Deep, just go and check out that video by clicking the card on the top right corner of the screen so you can easily watch that tutorial and then, of course, return to this video. But let's go ahead and dive right in to upgrading the deeping wall of Helm's Deep. Alright everyone, so we're going to dive right into the tutorial on how to upgrade the deeping wall and the tower of Helm's Deep. So first off, I'm going to show you everything which you can see within this frame of the video. So there's the deeping wall, which is quite long in comparison to the original set. I certainly thought that the set was quite small regarding the deeping wall. If we're going to compare it to the instructions of the deeping wall of Helm's Deep, we can see one big error, which is the fact that the exploding part of the wall is connected to the part of the tower, which is incorrect because, of course, the Urkai army set. This little set, let me just go and grab the instruction. This little set right here actually was meant to be added to the other side of Helm's Deep. I hope there is actually, this part, this little Urkai army set was actually meant to be added to this side of the deeping wall, which was incorrect. Indeed, it's not the correct way to add the Urkai army wall, because this part is actually a small tower bulging out of the wall, which in the movies you can actually see on the right side of the exploding wall. So it should have been in between here, right over here, in between these pieces. Now, I would have been okay with the Urkai army set. I mean, the minifigure selection is excellent. You can build an amazing army with that, as well as the build. I can't complain about it. But if they could have included a build like this, just a straight wall piece, and you might be thinking, Brickley, that's boring. No one would buy that. But you could just expand your deeping wall endlessly. But with this set, it becomes a bit strange, because back in the day, I actually had 2 to 3 of these sets built within my LEGO Helm's Deep set, and I just added them on this side. As many people did back in the days, they had a bunch of these Urkai army sets, and they added them on this side, and you just had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these bulging sections coming out of the Helm's Deep set, which in my opinion was quite strange. And by all means, you can do that, of course, if you want to, but I'm not a big fan of it. I think that the out bulging part of Helm's Deep should be on this side of the deeping wall, not on that side times 10. So that's something I think about the Helm's Deep Urkai army set. I mean, I would have been fine with this set, of course, if they had included a straight wall piece, which I unfortunately had to design myself. But other than that, I mean, the set is great. You can add a lot of epic wall pieces, and you could, of course, modify it yourself. I'm not really a big fan of modifying things myself, although I do like this design, so I'm not really upset with the set. I just think it would have been a bit better for LEGO to go with a straight wall piece. But enough of that. You can see that I added the wall piece to this side of Helm's Deep in my own image, and of course, which is accurate to the movie. So we added this entire part, which is still actually 100% the same to the original set, except for a couple of minor details I've added to the back of the wall, as well as these big sort of pieces. I actually don't know what these are called. I mean, you have these rock pieces on top of walls, but I'm not really sure what these are called. So if you know, let me know in the comment section down below. I would love to learn more about that. But obviously, you can see my deeping wall is a lot longer. I will expand it in the future. You can also see a little bit of water, which is noticeable, and I love that it looks this way. I just added a lot of these blue tiles and of course the translucent blue tiles, and those look really good within the Helm's Deep set, so I decided to add that as well. We also got 2 of the Urkai Berserker bombs, and we're gonna dive right into all of the modifications I've made because I can continue talking like this for hours and we're not gonna do that, everyone. So let me just grab this entire Helm's Deep set. I'm gonna turn it around a bit because we're gonna start taking a look at the tower. So this is actually quite the same. I had to modify this before changing the entire deeping wall because the tower section was leveled to the ground. So this entire part in dark bluish gray, I actually added myself along with a good friend from back in the day from actually primary school. He helped me building this entire section, and believe me, when I was around 10 to 11 years old, this was hard to make, and I'm not kidding. I didn't know how to do this. I didn't have a clue. So obviously I'm really proud of it. I think it looks amazing, and I'm so impressed by what I thought was good building techniques back in 2014, 2013 even. So that's really strange to consider. So this is actually how we did this. We added a couple of the slope pieces. It's not necessary. You can also build with a couple of those dark bluish gray regular pieces. But the fact is you just need to raise this area, put it on top of a couple of plates. Of course, I'm not going to take this apart for this video, so that's actually not something I want to do. And yeah, it's just that. You can of course see we got the entire interior is the same. The door of course also is still here. And other than that, I mean, we changed all that. We added a couple of pieces on this area so we could actually have this entire area on top a lot bigger, and of course more space for minifigures to stand and of course shoot at the Urkai. One thing you'll notice is that I removed the ladders from the interior of Helm's Deep, and I actually removed those back in 2015, and it's been such a long time, but I have been quite a procrastinator because I haven't added them in all of these years later. So that's definitely something I need to do. And next up, of course, this staircase, also quite simple to design, just a regular couple of pieces on top of each other. Surely you'll be able to do that, and if not, let me know in the comment section down below and I will go ahead and create a tutorial for you if you want me to. Then here's the interior of the deeping wall. Now this is what I meant with changes to the deeping wall of Helm's Deep. We added this entire section underneath. I don't know what was in here. Let me go and grab the instruction booklet of the Urkai army set to actually have a better view of what's inside here. I do believe there was, yeah, the staircase, of course, which I actually wanted to remove because back in the day I had this grand plan of adding a couple of those stone stairs because the wooden stairs, no, those were not accurate in my opinion. So I just had to add a couple of stone stairs. Never ended up doing that. So if you have the money, just go and buy a couple of light bluish gray bricks, add them on top of a couple of those dark tan plates, and you'll be able to just shove that section right up to the wall, and you'll have an amazing set of stairs on a couple of the wall pieces. Actually, I would recommend buying more wall pieces, and of course making sure that they're straight wall pieces, which I can show you in a second. But I mean, that's what I added. I added this staircase to walk up this section. I'm not really sure why I did add this wooden staircase over here instead of a stone staircase, but I mean, that's fine with me. Also, I remember this area was so hard to create, and I don't know if I recall correctly, but it's also quite unstable. Actually, right now, yeah, this part always sort of fell off, so still actually falls off. That's quite surprising to me that I never changed that, but I mean, it's been 7 years since I've made these modifications, everyone. It's really just insane how fast time went. We got this box, which is actually, of course, the joke for Gimli and Legolas. Also quite nice. Gonna put that back in the area where it's supposed to belong. You'll notice that I removed the catapult, which in my opinion was just an unnecessary addition to the set. I mean, they could have included a couple more upgrades to the set, of course, made the wall a little bit longer, or just another minifigure instead of the catapult. I mean, it might be nostalgic to you, but I never really got why they added that in, and I think it's a lot more impressive to add a couple of other parts to the set. Then we're going to move on to the middle section. This is, of course, the same, other than, of course, some water over here, which is also quite nice. I certainly like that. And of course, there's also this section, which can make the deeping wall explode. And it still works. Actually, that's also something nice. And I'm quite happy with how everything looks so far. So that's actually everything on the left side. And then we got this new wall piece, which I designed, 100% my own design. And I certainly like the way this is looking. It's obviously just a regular wall piece, of course, from the Uruk-hai Army set, but it's a bit smaller and it has a lot more detailing on the front, which I'm also going to show you in a second. Of course, I added a couple of these 1x2 bricks, actually the 2x something bricks over here, to add that nice fun foundation actually for the deeping wall. And I had to add a couple of these cheese pieces because otherwise you would see studs here. I don't know why I did it like this, but I mean, it looks great so far. Of course, we got these supporting structures to have a bit of support underneath the plates over there on top, as well as this corner, which is also nice. And you could also expand your LEGO Helm's Deep deeping wall if you want to with this awesome modification. So that's everything behind the deeping wall and behind the tower. Now we're going to take a look at the details in front, because that's also something interesting. And by all means, just pause the video and take a look at everything you want to modify yourself. I'm not going to take the set apart yet. Of course, maybe when I'm going to improve my Helm's Deep set for a final sort of mock, I'm going to give you a tutorial on that. But other than that, I mean, you can just pause the video, take a look at what I've done. It's not that hard. I really mean it. It's not that hard. Just take a look at what I'm explaining. We got this section, which is also really detailed with lots of these brick decorated pieces, but you also get a couple of these pieces, which again, I don't know the name of, so let me know in the comments down below. I mean, other than that, there's not really something too special within my Helm's Deep mock, other than, of course, a couple of barrels. We got some flags up there, and that's actually everything. I mean, the details are the same. I do believe we actually moved this part of the window to the left a bit, because you could see that within the Lord of the Rings movie, I do believe. So that's something I also modified. Not really sure how I did that in comparison to the original set. Actually, I'm gonna try to figure that out for all of you. So we got the original wall piece actually underneath the tower, and here's it. Here it is. So you can see we added a couple of rockwork pieces because it's actually higher. And then indeed, we moved this section one stud to the left. So that's everything we did to improve this section. So that's something quite nice. And that's everything I did to improve the deeping wall and, of course, the tower of Helm's Deep. Could I have enlarged the tower of Helm's Deep? Yes, I could, but I haven't done that up till this day. I really wanted to do it all these years, but I just didn't find the time to do that. But I'll certainly try to improve the tower in the future. Of course, we're going to continue building Helm's Deep in LEGO in the future, but right now I'm saving my money to work on all of these amazing projects. And yeah, I really hope that this video was helpful in showing you how to improve your LEGO Helm's Deep deeping wall and tower. So if you did find this video helpful, of course, leave a thumbs up and subscribe to Brickley for more epic LEGO content. Obviously, in the next video, we're going to take a look at something entirely different from Helm's Deep. This is actually going to be this middle section. I don't know if it's part of the fortress of Helm's Deep, but they never included the fortress with, of course, the courtyard over here in the middle with the stairs leading up to the door. They never made that. I don't own that as of this moment, but I will be working on that in the future, so just stay tuned. But in the next episode, we're going to work on this section. We're going to improve it, and I'm going to show you how I actually did that. So I really hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I will see you all in the next video on my YouTube channel, Brickley.
In the air, like a blazing flare. Held you close by the stormy sea.